then that would be an automatic fail. What I do as an assessor, and this is just me, it's not personal, rather than automatically failing, I would go back and question it. It was born from a need to protect small to medium enterprises. If you think of it like an MOT, it's a point-in-time assessment,
Right.
and it's renewed annually, so in the last 12 months.
Right.
So you would pick that up on your next assessment. So if the organisation's grown in size between your first assessment and your second, then you would move up the scale. Then you wouldn't need to reassess it.
This is the Briefing Room, a podcast where we break down complex topics across defence, cyber, and security into simple, understandable conversations. When people hear of cybersecurity, they often think of something expensive, big, technical, hackers, firewalls, ransomware, dark rooms full of screens, something very dramatic. But actually, a lot of good cybersecurity is all about just getting the basics right, and that's where Cyber Essentials comes in. Today, we're talking about Cyber Essentials, why it exists, and why it's not just another tick box exercise. Today, I'm joined by Michael Daly, who is going to help me understand everything about Cyber Essentials and what it covers. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, hopefully. So Michael's my real name. I do go by Arthur. A lot of people know me as Arthur. Anyone watching this who's old enough to remember Minder, that was on in the 70s and 80s. Arthur Daly was the main character. I did 23 years as a regular within the Royal Signals, and it was a nickname I inherited, and I kept it going because I quite liked it, because Arthur's real name, I thought I was really lucky to have a real name as a nickname, and nothing anything weird and wonderful.
Okay, so you want me to call you Arthur?
Arthur would be good. So I joined CDS, Defence and Security, straight out of the military in 2020, just after the pandemic, and took over the technical assurance practice within CDS, which is all the technical trades within cyber, which includes the Cyber Essentials certificate body that I maintain. I've been a Cyber Essentials assessor since 2020. When I joined, it was one of the first things I did was go on the Cyber Essentials assessor's course, and then took over the certificate body when I took over the technical assurance practice, roughly in the beginning of 2021.
The first thing I would ask, I need to get a little stopwatch, but we'll dive deeper into what Cyber Essentials is. But for now, what is Cyber Essentials in 60 seconds? Go.
So Cyber Essentials is a government-backed cybersecurity scheme, and when we say government-backed, I mean the larger government, but it's run by NCSC, the National Cybersecurity Centre. They set the standard, and IASME, as the consortium, administer it on behalf of NCSC.
Okay.
It is the government that pushes it. It was born in 2014 out of a need to help organisations, particularly small to medium enterprises, so the SMEs, to help those defend against the majority of cyber attacks. And what NCSC investigators discovered was the majority of attacks do not come from sophisticated hackers, what we would imagine somebody in a room with a hood
Yeah.
tapping away trying to break in. A lot of these are very unsophisticated scattergun approaches where they're attacking your people. So Cyber Essentials was born to protect that, and it focuses on 5 main controls, which is, anything. If you look at some of the other standards like ISO 27001, that's like 127 controls. It's just 5.
Right, okay.
And you're basically looking at, have you got a firewall, or your system's securely configured?
Yeah.
Are you running security updates regularly? So a security update should be run within 14 days of it being released. Do you protect against malware? And have you got account separation? And by account separation, we mean you're not logged in as an administrator doing day-to-day tasks. And the reason that's important is if your account becomes compromised, the attacker can't then pivot and move and do anything. It's because it's limited to a user account.
I was slightly over 60 seconds. Well, you sort of touched then a little bit on what the next question is, with why was the scheme created? Yeah. Why did someone, you said NTSC and IASME, why was Cyber Essentials created?
As I said, it was born from a need to protect small to medium enterprises from cyber attacks at the time, which still continue to be the same cyber attack vectors to this day. They're not sophisticated attackers. They are scattergun approaches. They're often sort of criminal enterprises, organisations from on board that are just trying to scatter organisations across the world to find an in where they can.
Is it just, you said small and medium then, is it just for small and medium, or the bigger companies don't really have to worry about it, or is there like a limitation for Cyber Essentials?
No. So there is, it is for everyone. So large organizations, typically in the past, larger organizations would find it harder to achieve just because of the nature of the way they manage their IT.
Right, okay.
However, IASME have done quite a lot of work with the NCSE, and they've created a new Cyber Essentials Plus pathway where the tests can be adjusted and administered by a suitably qualified Cyber Essentials Plus assessor. That helps large.
You mentioned Plus then.
Yeah.
I've seen that there's two versions. I have no idea what the difference is between them. So there's Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus.
Yes.
What is Plus compared to the normal?
So the Cyber Essentials, often referred to as Cyber Essentials Basic.
Right, okay.
But it is just called Cyber Essentials. It's a verified self-assessment. So an organization would decide they want to do Cyber Essentials, they would complete this verified self-assessment on IASME's portal. That would go to an assessor. There's a number of ways an organization could do that. They could contact a certificate body direct, or they could go to IASME and ask them to send it to an assessor in what they have as a pool assessment. Now, the key point for Cyber Essentials Basic is IASME set the costs.
Yeah.
So whether you go to a certificate body or whether you go to IASME, it will cost the same.
Oh, okay.
We cannot charge any more.
Upscale, not upsell, but you can't increase the price.
Yes, it's set, and it's on IASME's website for each size of organisations. The organisations are split into micro, small, medium and large.
Oh, okay.
Based on employee size.
And then what's Plus then?
And then Plus is a technical audit of your verified self-assessment. So a Cyber Essentials Plus assessor would come in either remotely or on site and technically audit your VSA to make sure that it is doing it. And the Plus assessment is split into 5 tests. There's an external scan, where we find your external IP or a website or something that you're seeing, and making sure that you aren't advertising services to the wider internet that you shouldn't be, or if you are, that they are sufficiently protected. So that would be, you haven't got default passwords on, you haven't got easy password.
Password 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are they not just completely open, and then you can connect. So the majority of the time when we run this scan, all external services are closed off, but if they are open, we would then do a manual test, a mini pen test if you like, to just check them. We then do a credential patch audit of a device, a sample size of the devices within your organization. And it's across the builds. So if you're running Mac OS and Windows, you would need to sample both of those, and that includes your mobile phone devices as well.
Right, okay.
And those builds. So if you've got Android and you've got iOS, then we would sample both of those.
So would that be then yourself or your team sort of, if you were contracted to do a Cyber Essentials Plus, you would physically you'd be the one going out there, sort of?
Yes. So for CDS, I'm the Cyber Essentials Plus lead assessor. Okay. We have other Cyber Essentials assessors that work to me. So the way it works is they would go and do the assessment, and then I sign it off, check it, or I would go and do the assessment if I'm the only one available.
When putting this together, I did come across sort of this is like the limitation of my knowledge, is I thought it was the company, like the CDSDS, it would be the company who has the ISO accreditation or holds the certificate for going and doing Cyber Essentials Plus or with people. But isn't it like the person, like you are the one that holds it, so we can say we can do Cyber Essentials Plus because you hold it yourself? I thought it was the company that actually does it.
No, so yes, the company is a certificate body, and there are certain things that you need to have in place. We, as a company, need to be Cyber Essentials Plus ourselves. We have to have that across the whole organisation, and then we can evidence other things with our ISO accreditation.
Okay.
But in order to deliver Cyber Essentials Plus, you need to have a Cyber Essentials Plus lead assessor.
Okay. So
I'm a qualified lead assessor, but then I have to work for a certificate body and rise to deliver.
Okay. I thought it was just a team who could do the service. I didn't know it like if you went, it's like, right, okay, we'd have to replace you with somebody because
Yes.
Otherwise, we can't do it.
If I was to become unavailable, we would need to have another lead assessor to sign up for the Cyber Essentials Plus, not for Cyber Essentials Basic.
Right.
If we call that just the Plus, because we've got a number of Cyber Essentials assessors that could still maintain it, but we would lose our Cyber Essentials Plus certificate body function until we could fill that.
It was just something that was like, in my mind, I thought it was as a company, we could offer this because we have the capability inside. I didn't know it was actually, you hold accreditation. I know a few others have recently got theirs, and I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was just something you did as a team rather than getting it as a...
Yes. So what we're looking at within the organisation is building resilience there.
Yeah.
Because we've been in this position before where our lead assessor left, went to work for another organisation, and we ended up having to subcontract our Cyber Essentials Plus out to another certificate body.
Right.
Which is what prompted me to go and do the CREST, Registered Pen Tester exam, which then qualified me to be the lead assessor so that we could get our certificate body back. But my next phase is building resilience. So we have one of our assessors, plus assessors, who has done the vulnerability assessment exam, which is what's required if you want to be an assessor but not a lead assessor. Right. He's doing his check team members exam next month. Okay. Should he pass, then he would be another lead assessor and we would have a bit of resilience.
Why is Cyber Essentials so often mentioned in defence chain, supply chain conversations?
The long and short answer really is because the defence requirement.
Okay.
So they've got Defence Con 658, which is Defence Contractor Clause 658, cybersecurity, and within that, it requires Cyber Essentials.
Is that a relatively new thing that's coming that's saying you need Cyber Essentials, or is it always been for?
No, it's been for a while. So we often see one of the questions on the Cyber Essentials verified self-assessment is the need. Like, why are you applying for Cyber Essentials? And often we see that it is for contractual reasons, and it's because an organisation is working with defence. But, and this is key, it's not just directly for defence. If you are part of the supply chain for a defence contractor, you will now require Cyber Essentials, and in some cases Cyber Essentials Plus, and on the level that you go for.
Okay. Is Cyber Essentials an advantage then when working with primes or clients? Is there something that if you put in a bid in, having Cyber Essentials would sort of give you an advantage or another? Or?
Yes, I think it would, but I would rather not think of it in those terms. So if you're wanting to achieve Cyber Essentials or Cyber Essentials Plus to tick a box and get a contract, that's great, and that's one motivating factor, and that's often a huge motivating factor because it's financial. Yeah. But the reality is, if you implement the controls in Cyber Essentials, you're 92% less likely to claim on Cyber Essentials, cybersecurity insurance. Okay. It protects against 80% of current cyber attacks. Only really the advanced persistent threats that it's not protecting against, and really they're not making up a lot there. So I would like organisations to want to be secure and implement the controls because they want to be secure. Then apply for Cyber Essentials so they can demonstrate that.
Do you, if a business owner's watching this now and they've got like a micro, or but you said it covers micro, but how small would micro be? How would the person who's got maybe four people in his company, would you think that is, he doesn't need Cyber Essentials because it's only 4 people? Or do you think there's no limit on how small the company can be to either have Cyber Essentials?
There is no limit, so it goes down to 1 employee.
Right, okay.
We have done a number of certifications for one-person organisations. And I would say if you are a one-person organisation and you want Cyber Essentials, it's relatively cheap because the cost is based on the organisation size. Even for Cyber Essentials Plus, if you're a one-person organisation, you're not running a huge IT. So it isn't going to take a lot.
Say I get Cyber Essentials now for my own company. By next month, we've got 65 people. So incredible amount of people join the company. You've assessed me on a one-man band company. Would I then have to reassess? Because I'm a much bigger company now and I might be in a different grade of like maybe a small company. Would I then have to come back to you and say, I need it redone, or does that cover me for a year?
Yeah, that's interesting. But if you think of it like an MOT, it's a point in time assessment.
Right.
And it's renewed annually, so in the last 12 months.
Right.
So you would pick that up on your next assessment. So if the organisation's grown in size between your first assessment and your second, then you would move up the scale. Then you wouldn't need to reassess it. But what you would need to do is continue to apply the control to all new starters and joiners.
So it's only I ask because on one of our previous episodes where the majority about security clearances is that I didn't realise that any changes that if you get SE or DV, I didn't realise you have to update your security controller that there's been any sort of differences in your life or anything that may have happened. I didn't know anyone needed to do that. So I didn't know if the company owner would need to come to you saying, I know you assessed us last month, but we've got a few more people. Do you need to reassess us? But
so the only real reason I think where you might want to have a reassessment mid the cycle, the 12 months, is if the scope has changed.
Okay.
So say you're an organisation, you're running multiple networks and you want Cybersecurity for one particular network, which we often see, particularly for organisations that are working with defence or working with the government and it's a requirement, then they'll only Cybersecurity in that particular network. And then if they want to have it include the whole network, they would have to then redo it because it would be a scope change.
Okay. Have you seen, I know we work for defence, have you ever worked with any companies outside of defence for Cybersecurity? So with someone like John Lewis or another shop, would they need Cybersecurity as well, or is it mainly just in defence area?
No, so it is wider than defence and aims throughout the whole commercial sector. Because it is a really good standard for cybersecurity, and it's really easy to understand. And if you follow those 5 control steps, you'll be able to keep almost protecting yourself from the majority of attacks straight away without going into anything else complicated. And it's really simple. So if you're a one-man or a one-person organisation with a laptop, your firewall is the firewall within the operating system. That comes with it, whether it's Windows Defender or the Mac OS version, that's your firewall, that's what you have. So you don't really need to spend any extra money, you just need to make sure that is protected and set up the way you need it to. Majority of cases they are now. I know many years ago, the Windows inherent operating system firewalls were dreadful, but they're not anymore. Massively improved, and in fact, NCSC and ISB recommend that you use that and you don't install any other third-party firewall software. You just use the inherent existing one.
So with the size of different size of the companies, then going from micro, do you know what the size differences are between micro and small? And with that, you said it changes the price then as well. Yeah,
it does. So a micro organisation is 0 employees to 9. You would obviously an organisation not going to have 0, but it is really 1 to 9. Then small is 10 to 49 employees. Medium is 50 to 249 employees, and then large is 250 plus employees. In the costs are comparable. So micros, £320 plus VAT for Cybersecurity Verified Self-Assessment or Cybersecurity Basic. Small would be £440 plus VAT. Medium's £500, and then it's £600 for a large organisation, and that is set by IASME. So whether you go to a certificate body or whether you go to IASME for the pool assessors, that is the cost you will pay.
That's for how many people in the entire company? So it's not how many people you have in the office, or say if you're a company that's got people in an office and people outside, you covering the size of your company because of everyone in the company, or just people that you...
It's your employees for Cyberesentials.
Okay.
Verified self-assessment. It's different for Cyberesentials Plus, so it does go on employee size for the Cyberesentials Basic. So if you are, say, a bus company, you've got a large pool of drivers, but you might already have two staff working in an office doing the bus scheduling and managing the admin. They'd only have 2 laptops. You will pay whatever the employee size, even though the rest of your team don't have any IT and don't really have any security. They're driving the bus.
So if they add 200 and you say it was 250 for big one. So say 248 bus drivers some more bus drivers, and then you've got two people in that office, they would have to pay
a large,
the large one, even though it was only two people you're actually doing it on.
However, when it comes to Cyber Essentials Plus, we've got a little bit more leeway. So we would talk to the company, we would have a scope meeting, we would discuss the size of the infrastructure. And in that case, we would say, well, it's not going to take our assessor too long to assess 2 laptops. And so we would price it accordingly.
Okay, so you shouldn't tailor it then to the scenario. Walk me through the typical steps for an organization to become Cyber Essentials certified? Approved or
certified. Certificate, you get a certificate on Blockmark, which is a digital certificate, which is quite good because then that means IASB can revoke it should they wish to. Not really for an organisation, but it does happen for assessors on certificate bodies. For instance, when we lost our Cyber Essentials Plus assessor last year and they revoked our certificate because it's a digital badge, then you can't then pretend you're a Cyber Essentials because you've performed. So it is quite good. So I think certified is probably the right one.
So what would be the steps for a company to get certified?
So first they decide they want Cyber Essentials. And that might be because contractual requirements or because they've heard about the scheme and they want to make sure that they're protecting themselves, their data, other customers as best they can. So they decide they then can either contact the certificate body direct. They're all listed on IASB's website. Or you can go to IASB direct and say, I want Cyber Essentials, and they will assign it to an assessor. The benefit of going to a certificate body direct is you get to talk to the assessor. And it comes a little bit different. It becomes important later on. So you pay your costs, and then IASB will set you up on their portal where you'll have access to the verified self-assessment. And then you start completing the assessment, filling in the answers as best you can. Once that's done, you hit submit. It goes to an assessor. If you're in the pool assessment, it'll just go to a pool assessor. If they have any questions or queries, they then basically type that out into the portal and then you've got to read it. If you go to a certificate body direct, they can speak to you a bit easier. They can talk you through it. You can ring them and say, I'm filling this in. I don't really know what I'm doing. It's a little bit easier. But there is no difference in cost.
I was just about to ask, is there a difference in cost if you say you want to ring up a couple of times saying, I have no idea what this question means, how do I fit it out? And then that's not an extra cost on top.
No, so we, as a STIM organisation, CDS Defence and Security, we offer a support package to what we would do in that case. If an organisation really doesn't know what they're doing or where to start, we would assign an assessor to them. It's normally a day, just a day contract in it that would help you not answer the questions, understand the questions and make sure that what they're writing is right, and then actually what they're doing to what they're putting in, and then help them guide through that. And then we would assess it with a different assessor would assess it, so they're not marking their own. So we have a bit of a sort of a divide. So whoever is assisting you wouldn't be the one assessing it.
And then once that self-assessment is off and you've gone to the assessor, they've marked it, what happens then? You sort of get just an email saying congratulations, or is it a little bit?
Yeah, effectively. So we, as assessors, go through questions. All we're doing, because it's a verified self-assessment, is making sure the answers you put match the standard. Sometimes you go back for more information. There are automatic fail conditions. For instance, if you submit that you're running out-of-date software, so say you say I'm running Windows 7, then that would be an automatic fail. What I do as an assessor, and this is just me, it's not personal, rather than automatically failing, I would go back and question it. I would ask for more information and say, are you sure you run a Windows 7? And that gives the organisation a bit of a chance to...
So this self-assessment, but all I'm thinking about self-assessment is I could say anything. I could say, I'm the latest Mac OS, even though I've still got like 2030 laptop and they can't run it. So not how do you catch people out, but is it then people filling it out don't know what good would be? So they're answering honestly, and then you're going, right, okay, this doesn't line up, or is there any way of them knowing, well, I got to say this answer, because if I don't, it won't be a pass?
Okay. So I think there's probably a bit of both, but we're not there to catch people out. What usually happens for more information is they put down what they think is the right answer, and actually we need, as assessors, we need it to be written down for every question. For instance, an organisation might not have any physical firewalls. They might be using the firewall that's within the operating system, i.e. Windows Defender, and then they put that down, and then on the next question, when it's like, do you change your firewall passwords, they put no, because we don't have any. But actually you do, because you've got the admin password, and you must change the local admin password for the device. It's part of the standard. So you would just go back and say, you're using software firewalls. These are included in this question, and which is often a bit of a misunderstanding. Was they think they haven't got a physical one in a 19-inch rack. They can go in and physically change the password. That it's not applicable. So they put them, and the reality is that they are, and they've said earlier on in the assessment that they are using software firewalls.
Can you, not giving, we don't say any names or anything, but a real world example of something you've worked on, whether it was a tricky cyberessentials application or something where you found maybe you need to dig in a little bit deeper and actually go back to them with a few questions of how they've answered their form.
Yeah, certainly. So we worked with an organisation not too long ago. We were doing a Cybersecurity for them, a Cybersecurity Plus assessment for a new network that they'd created. So it was a different scope. And when we went in to look at it, there were a number of issues that they weren't aware of. Out-of-date software, users being logged in as administrators, various other things. So it could be quite tricky. And then it's quite a large organisation, international. So when we were talking to the CISO, the answer was that they were happy with users being logged in as administrators, and they were happy. There's various other things about, well, you're not going to pass.
Okay, so that would come down to you saying, right, these aren't, I would recommend these. It's these, you will not pass and you will not get your certification if you do not correct these. And then do you usually get some pushback, or is it, oh, I didn't realize that. How do we implement?
No, I wouldn't say we usually get pushback. It's normally, if anyone's going to let you down in your organisation, it's going to be people. Often we deal with the IT team, the head of IT administrators, and they are not aware that some of the issues. So you might go and a user might have turned off multi-factor authentication. And then you assess it and you say, well, there's remote authentication. And I'm like, the IT team are on the Rees, and they say they've turned it off. And,
So what would you say is the real value to a business? What's the real value of Cybersecurity having that certification?
So I think when we were discussed earlier about self-assessment, and I mean, can an organisation just write down they think will pass? This is the value of Cybersecurity Plus, because it's been technically audited, and they need to be, passing. There's no non-compliance conditions. It's either pass or fail. It's not pass or fail on the day. There is a 30-day remediation window, so you can change things, and then we'll reassess. So, you don't need to worry too much if we find anything, because you do get 30 days to remediate. But yeah, I think the value is hard in cybersecurity. It's hard to have a return on your investment, because the value is you're not being attacked.
Yeah, it's hard to go, well, I've wasted a couple £100 because nothing's going to happen to me. But knowing your luck, if you don't do it, or you put down the wrong details, I'll just write down whatever I need to, and something does actually happen, then people will be looking at you because you fill that form. You put those details, whether incorrect also, but didn't get the certification, so you are liable. You are probably cost a lot more if you do get attacked, and you don't have that. Whereas if you do have it, you don't get attacked, or it's not as easy to attack you.
Yeah, I think it is difficult to put that return on investment, because it's the lack of an event that is the benefit.
That should be a good thing, though, isn't it?
It is. Like you say, you could be sat there saying, well, we might not have been attacked anyway. Why? The truth is, there are people out there that are trolling the internet, they're trolling IP addresses, they're looking for a way in, they're sending mass emails out, They're gathering your people's information from LinkedIn to get their email addresses. Normally guess them. If you've got the domain, if you find people's names, we can normally put a dictionary together of what possible email addresses go, and then they spam them out to see if they get any responses. It is happening. It's happening all the time. And the best thing you can do is protect against it. You could implement these 5 controls, Cyber Essentials, and not have Cyber Essentials certificate, not pay for it. There's benefit in that. But if you want to demonstrate it to your customers and you want to demonstrate it to the wider world, then getting them certified is a really good way to do that. But not having the controls in place is probably
Okay. So where do you see the future of Cyber Essentials? Do you see anything changing with Cyber Essentials or Cyber Essentials Plus in the future, in the next 5 years?
So they do, ISB and NCC, they do look at the standard annually, and they push out new standards. I call them after Springs in Malvern, which is where ISB are based. And I believe, so we were on Montpellier, and we went to Willow, and now we're on Denzel, which is just coming out April 2026. There's been some big changes to the Denzel scheme, particularly on Cyber Essentials Plus. They've added a couple of auto-fail conditions.
Okay.
So regardless of the 30-day remediation period, if the user has turned off MFA, that's going to be an automatic fail now. One change that came in last year is that assessors now pick sample. And so the organisation would send in their asset list, and then the assessor will pick at random the sample. And it's based on the size, and say these are the assets we want to look at. With Denzel now, if we scan those devices for test 2 and out-of-date software or out-of-date OS is found, you've got your 30 days to remediate, but we will sample a different set of devices.
Actually, not necessarily the same one.
Because what IASB and NCC want evidence of is that an organisation is updating the devices across the suite, the whole suite, not just the sample. So you can't just run an update on that device, and you have to make sure your whole organisation's infrastructure has been updated, and we will test a different sample size. If we find the same instance of out-of-date software, it's a fail. Automatic fail.
Right.
So say one we came across last week was a user on the BSA, they thought they were using Chrome for browsers and Edge. But when we looked at it, the one user had Firefox, and it was 3 years out of date.
All right.
And one on the BSA, you say yes, or they had said yes, that they remove all unwanted software.
Yeah.
And yes, they update all software within 14 days. And this one user was saying, "Oh, don't use that," but it was still installed. And 2, it was 3 years out of date. So what we were doing was we would re-sample a different device. If Firefox was found on there and out of date, that would be an automatic fail.
Do you have to check that one as well? Do you have to, because they'll come within the 30 days, so they'll say, "Oh, we've removed it now, promise." Promise we have. Do you have to check that one and then a couple of different, or do you not check that one now and just go on there, work it, they've removed it, and then check?
Yeah, and that's a really interesting case. But we do a different sample size. It's different devices.
I'd imagine you do the different sample size, but then I'd still want to go back to that one that I had last time.
No.
But I'm not an assessor now.
So IASB run monthly assessor webinars,
Right, okay.
and in-person events yearly around the country. So there's usually one sort of within a local area. And these are the kinds of events that we as assessors can ask those sort of questions, where we could pose that to the experts and to the people that set the standard and say, what happens in this case? And then we would get the feedback and advice. Or if that was to happen, we also have a forum where we can ask questions and we can raise tickets with IASB and say, "I'm doing an assessment, I'm not sure about this," and we can get the direct advice from them, from their technical people. So as assessors, we're not really left on a limb to sort of go through it.
Cool. That is another briefing complete, I think. Unless there's anything else you want to mention, how would someone watching this video now, how would they go, "You know what, I want Arthur to do my cyber essentials, how would they do that?
You can find us on ISB's website and through the certificate body search at regional law. So we might have to put in Cheltenham and we would come up. Or you could contact us through our website, which is probably better because it would be direct. But if you go to CDS Defence and Security website, there is a Cyber Essentials section on there, and there's a form you can fill in. It'll come to us, it'll come to me, and I will contact you, discuss your requirements. And then if you want to go ahead, we would usually require a purchase order. And on the organisation, if it's a small business, then normally just an email saying you're happy for us to go ahead. Because we do not invoice until we've completed the work.
Right.
So that's all we need. We'd set you up on the portal. We'd get, like you'd receive an email from my admin to say with your login details, log into the portal, start filling in the assessment. If you had any questions, you could contact us direct and we could sort of talk you through it, help you. Then when we would assess it, we would assess it within 48 hours, which is our sort of standard. And the reason why we do within 48 hours is because if you go through the pool assessment, IASME's in terms of service say that we as pool assessors have to do the assessment within 40 hours. That's sort of 48 working hours. So if you submit it on a Friday, you're not going to get looked at till Tuesday. So we stick to that as well as within CDS. We would do it within 48 hours. Once we're happy, we generate a report. You would receive the certificate and you would receive the login from Blockmark, which you would be able to put it out on your website. There's links there to put it in your signature block to see your Cyber Essentials. If you want to go for Cyber Essentials Plus, again, it would be a different cost because we would discuss your infrastructure and how long it was going to take one of our assessors, and we would put together a proposal if you want to go ahead with it. You've got 90 days from when you achieve Cyber Essentials Basic to achieve Cyber Essentials Plus.
So you have to do
90 days.
Or you can't just go straight into Plus.
Can't go straight into Plus. You do the Basic. We can do it combined. But you do the Basic, and the reason why you have to do that is because the Plus is a technical audit of the verified self-assessment.
Right, okay.
And the reason it's got to be within 90 days is because it needs to be close enough to the VSA that nothing too much has changed.
Right.
What you need to consider in that is there's a 30-day remediation window. And if you want to maximise that, then you need your assessment 60 days after the BSA. So then that gives you the 30 days to take you to the 90, because you have to achieve Cyber Essentials Plus within 90 days. So you don't have to redo the BSA. It gets a bit complicated.
Yeah. But you'll have someone to help you through it.
Yes.
And sort of guide you through anyway.
Yeah, we would go through, we would discuss everything, talk through set times. Most of the times we do them remotely. Some organisations like us to do them on site. There would be an added cost. So if you come to us somewhere based in Cheltenham and you're based somewhere else in the country, then there'd be a TNS cost. And then you may be better off going with a local body. The majority of the ones we do remotely. We do them over Teams. We do all the vulnerability assessments are done remotely. So obviously we do a remote external scan, which is a report. Then we would send links to download tenable agents onto the sample devices, which the IT team usually does, and then we will see them come online, and then we could do the credentials patch audit remotely, and then we have users and we just do Teams calls with them and get us to screen share, and then we take snapshots of the screenshot as evidence. So
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you for coming on to the podcast. I finally handed you down. Now do my bit camera. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you just saw, then like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube. There's a hype button there as well. If you're listening on Spotify, you can follow us, and I'm sure you can comment as well. It's always free to comment. If you stick around to the end, there will be a card at the end on our YouTube video that will take you to either the podcast playlist, or the YouTube algorithm will also say you might want to watch this video. We've got other cyber-related videos in the podcast series. There will be clips and shorts from this episode, so you can go back and either go back through the chapter times on this video and find where you want to listen to, or there'll be a couple of clips uploaded in the next couple of weeks. And thank you for coming on.
The why?